Make sure you know what the organizations are doing. That's all I have to say.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
I would like to respectfully address the policies that Mr. Ramik read off. And I don't think there's anything wrong with those policies. Personally, I do not. I believe that that racial profiling is wrong because you're profiling somebody based on a perception of who they are or where they come from. I believe that if you went to any other organization that is against hate, they would want to end some of the same things. Just because this is particular to Arab Americans and Muslims, that's just this organization. You have other organizations that are particular to other race and ethnicities that are working towards the same thing. So I think here on this council, what we are saying today is that we will not tolerate hate crimes in this city, period, no matter who they're against and why they happen. That, and once we are taking a stand against that.
Madam Chair. And just to kind of piggyback off Councilwoman Croft's statement, we're one of the leaders downriver here, and this resolution shows that we will continue to support our residents, no matter who they are, no matter what their ethnicity, their religion, or anything else. I mean, this resolution is to support all of our residents in this city, no matter who they are, and I think that Mr. Ramik's comments are kind of misleading to think that we're trying to support something else in this matter. I think that what we're supporting here is a campaign to take on hate, which in general, hate exists everywhere in this country. I'm sure you know, Mr. Ramik, you've served our country as a police officer and also in the military as well. And I think you've seen that firsthand. And I think that this whole thing is to make sure that we continue to support each other in this.
Madam Chair, Council, I agree with reference hate. And then you bring up profile. I agree. We profiled in this country forever. You know how many people are still alive today because people got profiled? You know how many times we profiled drug dealers and took in large amounts? Do I agree with profiling everybody? No. They can profile me any day they want. As long as I know my family is safe every day in this country, profiling should be okay. But to pick on somebody wrong, if you have a complaint and thought you were profiled wrongly, Justice Department is there. They proved it today. So if you're going to talk about profiling, get it all right.
Madam Chair, I believe profiling based on behavior is common practice in law enforcement, and I totally agree with that. But the profiling that I am saying is wrong is based on perception of who a person is based on their ethnicity or religion because of the way they look or the color of their skin. That is totally different than behavior profiling, which our law enforcement should continue, of course, to do.
So you don't think that you're ever profiled? If some of these people have been caught, you don't think they were profiled because of who they were? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that I don't think that. I do believe that
Do
they
you
are
disagree with it?
because of who they are, but I'm
Did
saying
you
that-
tell the FBI and them to not work?
Madam Chair, I'm not going to continue to have an exchange.
I didn't think you would.
Mr. Lyons?
Fred Lyons, Taylor, Michigan. I agree with Mr. Ramik to a degree. I don't see why we need a resolution to say we're against hate. We are. The problem is we need to let the law enforcement people and the judicial people follow the law, not try to run around it. This seems like trying to circumvent what has already been established. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, if you want to say from now on we're against some of these laws, then we have Congress people, senators, to vote on that. And our senators and our Congress people do a great job about supporting the rights of individuals and organizations. Word is, we can't help every individual act. And now you're beginning to profile profilers? Because you're saying we should be able to tell you, no, you don't do that. That's like sitting there and saying, I saw a guy out there smoking a cigarette and the house burnt down. He didn't do it. But then again, it's like saying, well, I saw a guy out there with a 5-gallon gas can and the house burnt down. Well, he couldn't have done that because he doesn't have any reason to. You have to think long-term, because the city of Taylor is a leader in a lot of things, and we're going to pretty soon be a leader in bankruptcy because of some of our policies. I don't see why you need a proclamation or anything else saying you hate hate. Anyone who would say you were supporting hate would totally look asinine. Even with our disagreement before, I never said anything that I thought you hated people or anything. You have to support, let the legal system take its due, or else you're going to wind up with the city of Taylor being sued every time you turn around for every police stop, for every fire, anything you want. Because there's always going to be somebody who says, you didn't do enough. We can't afford to do everything.
Madam Chair, just to respond to Mr. Lyons, this council represents this entire community. You brought up Congress, judicial system, everyone else. They all represent this community as well. This council represents over 63,000 residents in the city. This resolution creates awareness, and I think that's the main key to this resolution, is creating awareness of hate. Sure, you might say that we all know that hate's bad and everything else, but by passing this resolution, I think it shows that this community continues to remind folks that hate does exist and it is alive and well in this community, in Michigan and around this country. And by not, why not? Why not pass a resolution to support this, to support ending hate in our country? I say why not? And also, if you say that lead on this council should be a leader on making sure that we continue to remind folks that exactly what I said is that, hate is alive and well, and we want to make sure that folks know that this council stands against that.
Well, to me, you're saying that 63,000 plus people in the city of Taylor haven't got enough sense to know that hate is bad, and that we're sending our children to school without any common sense. When I, as a grandfather, when our grandkids go to school and say they hate someone, no, you don't hate them, you're just mad at them for something they did. To hate somebody is something else. You have to explain that to people. But you don't need a resolution saying that hate is bad, because anybody that has sense would know that.
Mr. Lyons, unfortunately, it's not a black and white world, and there's many gray areas.
Exactly.
There are people in positions that abuse their power, and they too should be represented. But I look at it this way: a resolution is like going to church every Sunday. You just get reminded, and it's just sort of a little.
Okay, what kind of commitment does this resolution put to the city of Taylor?
There's no commitment, Madam Chair.
So in other words, this is a truthless resolution. It's just us handing out flyers saying we should.
Madam Chair, it's not toothless. This council stands against hate in this country, and I think that shouldn't be called toothless, because I think we should all remind ourselves that this country was not built on us hating each other. I think we have to make sure that we have to continue to remind each other that we continue to support each other and making sure that we point out hate when it occurs. Like I said, this is a resolution. The city is not committing to anything. We're committing to continuing to take on hate in this country.
Well, all you're saying is we're saying we don't like hate, basically.
Absolutely.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Mayor.
a couple things. Number one, I respectfully disagree with Councilman Garza on one component. We are not one of the leaders downriver. We are the leader downriver. I think you've heard me say that more than once. And as the leader downriver, we lead by example. And I want to cite a paragraph in here. It says, whereas public servants, we have a greater responsibility to speak out against discrimination and hatred because when the unacceptable becomes the norm in our society, human rights for all are threatened. I think you're losing sight of the bigger picture here. This is no different than us teaching our kids not to bully. Bullying, anti-bullying campaigns are prevalent in elementary schools, junior highs right now. Same rules apply here. We are leading. As elected officials, what we're committing to is we're going to lead by example. We are not gonna support or participate in any type of hate. And this isn't necessarily supporting the group behind it, although I know the individual, and I will tell you that everything she stands for is for the greater good of what her effort is. And today, as this council takes action, I don't expect you're going to get any negative votes in favor, that are not in favor of this resolution. This is a good resolution. I thank Councilman Garza for bringing it forward. It's taken on a new shape from the original form to make sure that it works for everybody up here and that we could all commit to it.
Because the whole thing is this is a healthy discussion without losing sight of what we're discussing. I think that as council people, as the treasurer, as the attorney, you're all welcome to make any statements you please about it. I just don't see a need for a resolution.